Sarah, I mean, just put your thumb on the scales here as Google is pushing back on the government for so doing. Do you think this has any chance of getting through, that something as seismic as Chrome being sold off would happen?
I think personally it's unlikely. It was unchallenged conduct in the decision. So if you go back and read the 286-page decision from August 5th, there is a
Thanks for doing
discussion.
that for us, because we don't have the
Yeah.
time.
There's discussion about the contracts and the preloading of the Google Suite and a little bit on the Chrome browser. But unchallenged conduct was the search bar in the Chrome window. And so that wasn't challenged at trial. And so, there would have to be fact finding and a discussion of the browser market in the April hearing. Like the prior speaker said, August 2025 is when a decision will come out on remedies. And also of note, Google has an opportunity to submit their proposed remedies December 20th. So it really is an ongoing process. The last two big cases, Microsoft and AT&T, took nearly a decade to resolve.
And Microsoft appealed successfully, AT&T less so. Sarah, do you therefore think some other changes could be made to fight the idea that Google is monopoly or monopolistic in search? What could Google enact here itself?
Well, I think at issue are the contracts. So the way they contract with Samsung or the other OEM providers, that could change. But even so, there's so much dynamism in the market. Samsung uploads its own S browser, and I, read that in the decision. Other Android platforms, they have their own browsers. And so I think right now the market is so dynamic too with AI search windows that, the way Google responds will have to reflect what's happening in the AI market.
Let's just talk about AI and the data that maybe they'd be forced to license in some way. Would that be positive or negative for the rest of the market, not just Google?
Right. I think operationally that would be very difficult to work through. So that would also be a years-long process. I don't know how great lawyers are at product design. So to the extent that, I mean, there is some talk that there might have FRAND licensing terms in the proposed remedies, and that is something that is familiar in the intellectual property and standards development world. But to the level of data sharing and opening that pipeline of AI data, that would be a very new type of remedy.
Look, we can see from the share price that the market isn't freaking out about this, but there does seem to be a cloud over Google for the next few years, maybe even decade, as you were saying, Sarah. What about an administration change in 2025? Does that bear any thought for you?
Yes, what's interesting though is the first Trump administration brought the suit. So you have that, although Assistant AG Macon Delrahim recused himself. So this case has a long history so far. You hear kind of murmurs about the next administration wanting to continue activity, but at the same time, they seem to be more pro innovation and technology. So we'll see what whoever is Attorney General and then Assistant Attorney General, at least inside the Beltway, we're all kind of guessing who it could be, but who knows yet.